Hey everybody, so basically I'm just putting a simple opening picture here and stuff and to get straight through of each of these commentary and interviews I've done because just so that it makes it a lot easier. There's a lot to upload and everything. So hope you guys enjoy. This was my coverage from SuperCon on each of these. So today I am here with Jason Marmocha, who did the voice of Megatron in all the Transformers Primes and also the different Lele of all the Megatrons.
Yeah, Megatron. I was in the Prime Wars trilogy. It was the name of those. Thankfully I don't actually talk like that because then I wouldn't have a throat. It's like skid marks instead.
So, did you ever watch the original G1 Transformers?
You know, I did. I wasn't a huge Uber fan, but it was I was much more into Star Wars when I was a kid.
Okay.
So, but I did have a passing familiarity with it, but I wasn't hugely into it. So by the time Megatron rolled around as a role for me, I didn't really remember very much about it at all, except that, Peter Cullen had a really cool voice.
Speaking of which, I noticed you actually also did Optimus Prime in Superpower Beatdown.
That's right, I did. Yeah, I did do Optimus Prime in Superpower Beatdown. Before I was actually, I think it was before Megatron, because I remember that I auditioned for Optimus, Megatron, and Starscream when I auditioned for Combiner Wars. But yeah, I did do Optimus Prime, ironically enough.
You also did Jarvis and Iron Man.
I did, yeah, I did all of those. I also assisted with the script in that episode, and seeing it all come to life was crazy because it's one of those things where after I record something, I generally put it away in the back of my brain, and then when I see it again, I'm like, oh yeah. So anytime anyone asks me for spoilers or anything, I'm like, I couldn't tell you, I don't remember anything.
Right. I myself have actually watched that, both the alternate ending and the main ending.
I like the alternate ending.
But yeah, I've been a fan of the Bad and the Sun stuff for a while now.
Yeah, I've done some various things for them. I was in Deadpool versus Joker and Harley Quinn and Domino. I dubbed over the voice of the Joker. I played by Aaron Shonka. I was the voice of Darth Sidious in Darth Maul versus Spider-Man. And there's some things coming up too that I will be doing for them, which I'm excited about. So.
Okay. And did you ever have to when you took and did Megatron, did you ever try to improve on Frank Welker's voice?
Oh, no. What we did was, initially the audition that I did was just the growl. It was just down here, but, I saw that he has very big teeth and stuff, so it talked through big teeth and stuff. But I didn't really remember what Frank Welker had done in that, just because, I was never a huge Transformers guy to begin with. And obviously Frank Welker is such a genius that trying to improve on his work is nigh impossible. But what we did was we ended up, because my audition was just the growl to start, the director was like, well, we started workshopping it, and we were like, what if his vocoder is kind of damaged from battle, because he's already got this big scar down his face and he's all scraped up from fighting. So what if it is normally this thing, but then it just sometimes tweaks and goes down here, but then it comes up again? So we kind of did this in and out thing where if he's really intense, it'll be the growl, but otherwise it's trying to be a little smoother. So we kind of tried to keep it in that same vein as what Frank Welker did with the pitch, but not really imitate, is what we tried to do.
Right. So basically you kind of did a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
And you also did work for Red vs. Blue.
Yeah, I did Red vs. Blue for season 15. I was Spencer Porkinson. He lives to serve. He was an interesting character because initially you didn't know his name, and he was this big, intimidating black and red unicorn helmet bounty hunter, you thought. And then it turns out he's just there he's looking for Lavernius Tucker, and then when he finds him, he just serves him court papers. And so that was his whole shtick. And then you find out his name is ridiculous because it's Spencer Porkinson. And yeah, it's growing up, in high school and everything. I remember when Red vs. Blue started being a thing. And so I was a big fan of that. And so the idea of being able to work on Red vs. Blue was absolutely amazing to me because I got to talk to these characters like Caboose and, Sarge and all these characters. So that was crazy to me. I was delighted. I had a great time.
So did you ever get to play the Halo games yourself?
I'm not much of a gamer, so I never actually did.
Well, in my opinion, have you ever played any games?
Oh, yeah.
Board games? You get into any board games and stuff?
Oh, yeah. I'm actually dipping into D&D at the moment because I have more friends in LA that have D&D.
What I tell people on my show like this is I don't care if you are a video gamer, you're still a gamer.
Touche. You know what? That actually makes me feel pretty good.
Well, there you go. See? You're still a gamer.
There you go.
And
nice.
Basically, I look at it as it don't matter what you're playing.
It is true. Because, I mean, a video game is just a board game put onto a controller and a
Exactly.
screen. You know what? You're absolutely right.
Exactly.
Nice. I like
Not
that.
too many people have told you that.
No, because it's one of those obvious. It's kind of like, the word breakfast is breaking the fast from sleeping. It's one of those things you don't necessarily put together in the moment, but then you hear it and you're like, oh, he's right.
So basically, I've basically made it kind of different for you.
Yeah, you did. You really, really did. Yeah.
So, I look at it as and for Optimus Prime, I like the superpower beatdowns and stuff. So it's kind of one of those things. I actually enjoyed them. So to find out that you actually did the voice for him was like, oh, now I got something more to.
Yeah, it was weird because I am very much not often cast as hero characters. I usually voice the bad guy, but thankfully, Optimus Prime is so down here, and it's so growly and stuff that it wasn't too far out of my normal range. So yeah, that was actually a really fun one, and getting to voice Iron Man and Jarvis all together was fun, and it ended up coming together pretty well, I think.
Right, and so basically, you mentioned Star Wars here.
Yes.
If they was to ever take and come up to you, say tomorrow, and say, we got this new voice for the Resistance animated series, what would you do it?
Oh yeah. Oh God, yes. Because I really liked because the Resistance is the new the new one they're doing, right? Like I loved the Clone Wars show, and I really liked Rebels as well. So being involved with Star Wars in any capacity, I'd do the holiday special if they asked me. Like it doesn't. I just like being in Star Wars.
Stir, whip, 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 stir.
That was my ringtone for a while.
But yeah, I myself am a Star Wars fanboy, and I actually do a really good Yoda voice.
Oh yeah?
Yep.
Powerful in the Force you are.
Yes.
But not a Jedi yet.
That is good. That is a good Yoda.
So I've actually gone toe to toe with Com Kane.
Well, of course.
So, but yeah, it's actually been fun with the Yoda voice and stuff.
Course.
So I've actually grew up with the original Transformers, and I actually did watch some of the newer Transformers that you did Megatron for, and I loved it.
Well, thank you. I'm so glad to hear that.
As a geek, I love all pretty much Star Wars, Transformers. I've watched every genre of different things. So
that's the nice thing about geekery, especially these days, is that it's so widespread and there's so much you can consume, and there's so many different media, books, comics, like the whole games. There's so much now, which is awesome.
Right. And for Dungeons and Dragons, you mentioned you play that.
Yeah.
What kind of a character do you usually try to play?
Well, I only just started, but I am oh, you caught me. Oh man, I literally am just putting my character sheet together. I do have a name. His name is Piffle the Malignant and he wears sandals, flip flops, and it's a magic wielder of some kind. Is it a warlock? A human warlock?
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I'm going for, because I was always more of a magic user fan when I did play, like Gauntlet Legends or something like that.
Right.
So I was always more hairdryer. But yeah, so that's mainly what I like to. I'm not much of a brawler type. I'm more of I will zap you with magic from a distance type. So that's more what I go for.
Kind of like I do a little bit myself.
Yeah, excellent.
I prefer to do the magic and stuff. Like say when I go on to different things, like on my Knights of the Old Republic, I did a lot of the Force powers.
Of course.
And that's one of those things that. Did you ever play that game?
I did. That game I have played.
How many times did you go through it?
3.
I myself own it.
I've
got both versions.
Oh, okay.
Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2.
See, I haven't played 2. I've only played 1.
Oh, 2 is actually...
Big improvement?
It's the gameplay is an improvement, but the storyline could have been better.
Oh, I see. Fair. Because, yeah, I know a lot of friends who have 2, and they keep telling me I need to look into it, and I'm just like, I will eventually when I can, but...
Well, I know the feeling. It's kind of like me getting to these conventions. It's like, you can't get to them if you're working.
Exactly, yeah. Yep, that's the trick of it.
So it's kind of one of those things. It was like, dang, this year actually worked into the plans.
Yep, exactly. And then, yeah, when you can go or can do the thing, then you feel a little better about it.
So growing up and you watched the original Transformers and stuff, did you ever own any of the action figures?
No, I wasn't much of a figure guy, and but I tell you what, though, now that I see how many are available, because I have the Combiner Wars Megatron, I have the Titans Return Megatron. There's no Megatron for the Power of the Primes line, but I do have those 2 Megatrons, and the Combiner Wars Megatron is an awesome figure. The trouble is, I'm really bad at putting things together, so he's stuck in tank mode, because I figured out how to do that. So he's stuck as a tank, and I'm just kind of like, sorry, Lord Megatron, you're just going to have to deal with that and sit there.
See, I've actually got, not the Combiner Wars one, I got the purple tank one.
Oh, yeah.
I've got him because I bought him off another site and stuff. But I have my collection of Transformers takes up almost 2 shelves.
Oh, that's awesome.
I actually have Unicron.
Oh, damn.
I have a Unicron. And
go wrong with
he stands about that tall.
I was gonna say, I'm sure he's huge.
Even though he's not as tall as some of my Star Wars figures.
Oh, well, yeah. Of course not.
So, but yeah. So, what do you got coming up in the next few months, or that you can actually say?
That's the annoying thing. I'm not really allowed to talk about it. I've signed NDAs out the wazoo. I'm not really allowed to talk about it. But there are some more anime things can be looked forward to. Doing a lot of anime these days, which is fun for me because I'm not really much of an anime watcher. So when I go in, I can pretty much expect that I won't have heard of whatever the thing is. So I'll go in completely fresh. I won't have any preconceived notions about anything. So I can't really talk about anything that's coming out. Although a video game called Star Control just came out that I'm involved in. So check that game out. It's pretty. It's this mix of like. It kind of makes me think of the humor levels in Firefly because it's pretty silly. But it's a gorgeous game, and it's, hopping from planet to planet, doing all this crazy stuff. So that game is a game that I'm probably definitely going to get, not just because I'm in it, but because it just looks good.
Yeah.
So check that out, but I'm not allowed to mention the other stuff I'm working on. Which,
I understand.
Yeah.
It's all that hype, hush-hush now.
Exactly, it is. It really is. And then sometimes they don't even tell you the thing is out until someone else tells you, and so I'm probably going to find out myself.
Right, so you actually they don't have anything going on with any of the Transformers stuff coming up that you can...
Not that I'm allowed to say. I can neither confirm nor deny anything. But that's just standard anyway for I don't know.
Exactly.
I'd love to do more Transformers, though. I had a lot of fun with Megatron. I would love to
even
do
for
more
the games, if they even came out with anything for the games, you'd probably...
Oh, I'd love to. Oh, yeah, just anything I can do with Megatron now, because I'm way more into Transformers now than I was. I would love to step into that again.
Right. Well, thanks for sitting down and talking with me today.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.